Hi guys, it's me, Average Reader. This is a bit of an impromptu video, really. It wasn't planned. I just thought today, I feel like I need to come on and just explain why everything's been so sporadic. And then also just a little brief chat about the books I've currently been reading, because I have still been reading despite the fact that I haven't existed on the channel much. So firstly, the sporadic uploads. I started this channel in, I think, May, when I got a Kobo, and I've always loved like tech, e-readers, tablets, laptops, everything, and reading. And so the thing that I love about e-readers is it blends my love of those two things, and I get so excited about the new one, everything that goes on in between that. So I thought, let me do a video, because I've just got my Kobo color. I was absolutely mind blown by the color, and just wanted to talk about why I loved it, really. That did much better than I ever thought it would. I thought I'd have like 10 views, 20 views, and I had a history of making music. So like 12 years ago, I used to produce music. Some of my music's on a TV show called Skins, which here in the UK was pretty big. I don't know about the rest of the world. And I did study music at university, hence there is guitar here and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I'm going off track. So I prepared myself, because that was really hard to make music and get people to hear it without begging my family and friends to listen to it. I didn't tell any of my family. They still don't know, or friends, that I make YouTube videos for Booktube. Not because I was ashamed, just because I just thought I want to try and get some views and subscribers that aren't people I know. And it's completely surpassed my expectations. I think subscribers were over 900 now. I say we, it's just me making this content, editing this content, everything. So it is quite a big operation for me at present. And then views, I don't even know. It's way over the hundreds of thousands of views, which is just crazy to me. Like, it's like, because I enjoy making videos. It's fun. It's not like a chore. We've got to the point where I get emails from brands asking me to do videos, like sponsored videos, which is like, again, what? Like, this is that's just not what I envisioned. I just wanted to talk about books and tech with people who also love books and tech. And it's hard sometimes to keep up with the comments. I get quite a lot of comments every day. It's like, da, 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 da. So even that, I don't want anyone to think I'm ignoring anyone or just like ignorant. It's literally like trying to find the time to balance both worlds. Because I'm also, as I've mentioned in the early videos, a newly qualified mental health nurse. So I am a registered nurse. That's all formally completed. That completed a couple of weeks ago. I started my new job. I'm a community psychiatric nurse, which is, as you can imagine, very time consuming, very important job, especially to me and the patients that I'm supporting. So it has been hard for me to find the time to make videos for the channel, but I do want to carry on with it. I'm trying to find the balance. So I had some free time today. I thought, let me just come on and explain where I've been. So I think I was halfway through a book tour. So I do want to carry on with it. I am going to try and film part 3 this weekend. I don't know if it will be released the same weekend, because editing the videos is also time consuming. But it's something else I've been exploring, is services that will edit the videos for me, so that I film it, get someone else to edit it, bang, uploaded. But we'll see how we get on with that. I just wanted to be like, I think some of you will be watching this thinking, why is he explaining this to us? But you know, this channel is very much an average reader, and I just wanted to explain to you guys that I am absolutely an average reader, to the point where trying to find time for all the books and everything that I'm loving is very difficult sometimes. And I know a lot of you will relate with that. Like, my reading list is far bigger than the read list ever is. And I still keep buying more books. Hence this little pile of books here. These are new purchases, because along with the job comes money, and with the money comes book purchases, as I lived as a poor student for 3 years. So that was tough. I couldn't really buy books. Now I can. It's going to be a problem, but it's a problem I'm enjoying. That's out of the way now. Let's talk about what I'm reading. Just for a little bit of bookish chat, really. So I'm still reading Priory, the Orange Tree, but I'm enjoying it. It's a bit of a slog, because it's a beast. I do own the physical copy as well, which I can see out of the corner of my eye, but I'm not going to go over and get it. Because it's so big, it felt easier to read it on ebook, and it's just taken me a while. I'm 63% through, and lots of things happening. I liked the way they marketed the book, though. The shops I went in did not tell me this was going to be like a queer love story in a fantasy world. So it was a nice surprise, as I don't really own many books where it's lesbian love stories, and it was a nice, refreshing change to read from that perspective. Also magic and dragons and everything else. So if you're into fantasy, and you wanted like a really well-written queer love story, then I would absolutely recommend Priory, the Orange Tree. Obviously, I'm 63% through, so it could churn and I could come back to you and go, actually, that was a load of crap. But I don't think that's going to happen because I have enjoyed it thoroughly all the way through, and I'm sort of taking my time with it, just digesting it. Because I am someone who will read multiple books at once, because I do not believe in this silly rule where people say you must read one book at a time, because we live in an age of all these different streaming apps and things where you can dip in and out of shows and movies whenever you want. Why not take advantage of that? Some days I don't feel like reading fantasy, other days I do, which leads me nicely onto my current read, which is Richard Osman's We Solve Murders. So I don't know how big his books are around the world, but here he is very, very famous for writing the Thursday Murder Club. I think it's also quite big in America. This was his first book away from that series, and I was quite anxious going into this. My mum got me this as a gift for passing my course, getting my grades and everything, and becoming a nurse. And yeah, I was nervous about the idea of a book not set in that world with those characters, because I fell in love with the Thursday Murder Club characters. I absolutely love them. Joyce is a vibe, and I thought there's no way he could compete with that, even though it's him he's competing with. And I was just so wrong. I have almost finished this now. I've probably got about 100 pages left, and it's been such a fun read. It is still very much in that world in terms of the way it's written. So if you don't like Thursday Murder Club, I don't think this will change your opinion of Richard Osman in terms of the writer, that you don't really enjoy his books, because there's a style to his books which I love, and I would describe it as like quintessentially British. If you're British and you read it, you'll understand. Or if you're someone who's visited Britain, lived in Britain, there's just like even the language used, the settings, the attitudes in it are just so British. So for me, it's just such a funny little read because it's just really relatable. And Rosie is my spirit animal. But I don't really want to say too much about it. But there are lots of twists and turns, and it's definitely a faster pace than Thursday Murder Club and a little more action packed. But yeah, cut from the same cloth. So if you are a Thursday Murder Club fan and you're an hour and about this, I would definitely go for it. The way that he writes the characters is just so real to me. If you're on the fence about it, go for it. If you're on the fence about it because you didn't like Thursday Murder Club, I'm not sure you'll like it. But I don't really get off on telling people not to read books, because you might read it and absolutely love it, but then you might not like it, but at least you'll have given it a try. But the next two books haven't started them yet. So first one is Our Evenings by Alan Hollinghurst. Very, very famous and prolific writer, particularly when he writes about themes around being gay and class. His books often span like long periods of time. So I've read The Swimming Pool Library, The Line of Beauty, and The Spatial Affair. I think it was called The Spatial Affair. And I enjoyed all of them. I didn't know he had a new book out. I went into a small bookshop in Camden 2 days ago after a very long and grueling training day about first aid. I saw the cover, which I think is a really cool cover. It's quite striking. And the blurb is, most of us, without looking far, could find something that had harmed us and oppressed us and unfairly held us back. I tried not to dwell on it, thought it healthier not to, though I'd lived my short life so far in a chaos of privilege and prejudice. And that just grabbed me straight away. On further inspection, Dave Wynn is 13 years old when he first goes to stay with the Hadlows, the sponsors of his scholarship at a local boarding school where their son Giles is his contemporary. For Dave, this weekend, with its games and challenges and surprising encounters, will open up heady new possibilities, even as it exposes him to Giles' envy and aggression. As Our Evenings unfolds over half a century, the two boys' careers will diverge dramatically. Dave, a gifted actor and struggling with convention and discrimination, and Giles, an increasingly powerful and dangerous politician. So it is next on the list in terms of physical books once I've got through where I put Richard Osman. Also, I got a nice little bookmark from the Owl Bookshop. If you are into your independent bookshops, then definitely go check this one out. I believe they have one in, I think it's Belsize Park in London and Kentish Town. So I said Camden earlier, it's Kentish Town, but they're very close together. That's all I can say about it because I've not read it yet. The next one really needs no introduction. If you read books, you will have heard of this author. People often say she's like Marmite. I've never understood that reference. I've liked all of her books. I really love Normal People. Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. If I said that wrong, I'm so sorry. The thing that gripped me about this book, when I saw the advert for it, I walked past a WH Smith's and saw a huge poster for it, What a beautiful cover. And I know I've said this before, they say don't judge books by their covers, but when they make them so beautiful, it's really hard not to. So I looked at this and thought, even if I don't read that, I just want that. I would have that in a big canvas here, and be completely happy with it. It goes with my cardigan. So if ever there was a reason to read a book, no, I'm joking. This is another one. I've realised now after reading out the blurb for the Alan Hollinghurst book and then picking this one up, they're both quite heavy reads. Maybe that's a reflection on the sort of work I'm doing at the moment. But yeah, if you didn't already know, which you probably already do because everybody knows Sally Rooney has a new book out, reading the blurb, aside from the fact they're brothers, Peter and Ivan Quebec seem to have little in common. Peter is a Dublin lawyer in his 30s, successful, competent, and apparently unassailable. But in the wake of their father's death, he's medicating himself to sleep and struggling to manage his relationships with two very different women. Ivan is a 22-year-old competitive chess player. He's always seen himself as socially awkward, a loner, the antithesis of his Goliath elder brother. Now, in the early weeks of his bereavement, Ivan meets Margaret, an older woman emerging from her own turbulent past, and their lives become rapidly and intensely intertwined. Then I read those out and they sound a little bit similar, but I just love stuff like that. I like character exploration. I like books that span a long period of time. I think, again, it's the nurse in me that gets a real intrigue out of reading about people's struggle with addiction and depression and bereavement. I went through my own bereavement quite recently. Recent in terms of like years. So last year we lost my nan. That absolutely ripped my heart out. Still rips my heart out. Even talking about her now, I can feel it. I feel like the weight of the grief on me as I talk about her. So I won't be talking about it for long. And yeah, so I think I'll relate to this as a male who's in their 30s and has also suffered a recent loss. So I am eager to read both of these. There are other books that I own that are on my to be read list, which I've covered in other videos, which I probably haven't got around to yet. So that's really it for this video. It was essentially a little catch up. I will try and get a bit more uniform with the video releases and let you guys know things are coming up. If you've got any ideas of things you want to hear from me, then by all means get in touch, let me know. I have considered, now that I am a mental health professional, which technically I actually am, I might do a book on my recommendations for mental health books, because I know there are a lot of them out there. I've read a lot of them, and a lot of them are full with absolute rubbish, but there are some absolute gems. But if I were to recommend to patients, I would say, read this book. Like, clinically, I would absolutely agree with the things in this book, and I think they'll help you. So that is an idea I've had. Let me know if that would be of interest to you. I hope you guys are all doing well. If you enjoyed this rambly video, then by all means, like and subscribe. There will be more to come. Again, I don't know when. Thank you so much for all the support. I just can't even, as you can hear when I try and talk about it, I can't believe I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. It's just like, very excited to hit that milestone. I don't know what I'll do to celebrate it, but I will do something. Until then, you guys take care, look after yourselves, keep up the reading. Peace out.